Trying to figure out who's actually better in fight sports is the oldest barstool argument of them all. Is John Jones really better than Demetrius Johnson when Jones is twice his size and popped for steroids multiple times? Depends who you ask and how many beers in they are. Was the middleweight GOAT Anderson Silva really better than Daniel Cormier when DC actually beat Silva and held and defended 2 titles simultaneously? These sorts of debates are eternal. Fans live for them, and even the greatest fighters of all time can't resist weighing in on the chaos. Enter Henry Cejudo, because Triple C doesn't just think he belongs in the GOAT conversation, he thinks he outranks Khabib Nurmagomedov. And Henry being Henry, told Khabib to his face. He has not done enough. I've told this to Khabib, Cejudo said on his Pound for Pound podcast. I don't want to fight with the dude, but I remember we had a really heated conversation between us because I don't put Khabib in front of me. I really don't. So what did Khabib do? Well, he retired undefeated, the only UFC champion ever to pull that off. So there's that. Cejudo definitely can't say the same. But Khabib's legend wasn't just about the 0 in the loss column, it was about who he beat and how he beat them. As the lightweight king, Khabib mauled the champ Conor McGregor in one of the biggest fights in UFC history, handing the superstar a beating for the ages. Then he unified against the interim champ Dustin Poirier, and then forced the next interim champ, Justin Gaethje, to give up his belt, before disappearing into the retirement ether like an MMA Jedi. Khabib's title reign was about as good as anyone could ask for. 4 fights, 4 wins, 3 champions beat, and not a scratch on the record. But for Cejudo, he can beat that, because for Cejudo, true greatness means multitasking. Before MMA, Cejudo was already the youngest American to win Olympic wrestling gold. Then he captured both the UFC flyweight and bantamweight titles simultaneously, both of which he defended. Only the aforementioned great Daniel Cormier and the undisputed women's GOAT Amanda Nunes have ever done that. That's some real rarefied air Triple C is breathing. All in all, Cejudo also won 4 championship fights, just like Nurmagomedov. Cejudo was a bantamweight champion with 1 successful defense, and a flyweight champion with 1 successful defense. He wasn't undefeated though, but is that a bad thing? Or are his losses just proof that he was at least game enough to test himself again and again? It depends on how allergic you are to imperfection. Cejudo's losses came against killers: GOAT contender Demetrius Johnson, 5-time title challenger Joseph Benavidez, and the champ Aljamain Sterling, and future champ Merab Dvalishvili. The last 2 came after Cejudo's 3-year layoff. And his resume still features wins over DJ, the former champions TJ Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz, as well as Bellator champion Sergio Pettis and the WSOF champion Marlon Moraes. So what's worth more in the GOAT economy? Khabib's spotless record and his demolition of 3 straight champions? Or Cejudo's Olympic gold, dual division dominance, and the kind of audacity that can only be mustered by a 5'4" man who could beat up just about anyone on the planet? That's for you to decide. At UFC Fight Night 264, Gabriel Bonfim cracked Randy Brown with a knee straight out of a video game to end their welterweight headliner just 80 seconds into round 2. Brazil's latest knockout artist reminded everyone that violence can be art, but art is subjective. Brown was putting up a good fight until Bonfim sent him flying to the canvas early in round 2, with what looked like a fight-ending blow. While Brown fell hard, he instantly protested the referee's decision to stop the fight. But everyone settled a little when they watched the replay. He was asleep, said Bonfim at the post-fight presser. He was knocked out, his eyes were in the back of his head. Then came the call-out, the king of chaos, controversy, and of late, inactivity. Colby Covington. The former interim champ might seem like a strange choice, given his lack of fights and success in recent years, but he's well overdue for a fight, so why not? And in the co-main, the Ultimate Fighter Season 33 winner Joseph Morales is determined not to waste his second chance at a UFC career, and he proved it by submitting Matt Schnell in the first round. With the champ Alexandre Pantoja set to defend against the always dangerous Joshua Van at December's UFC 323, Morales is already game planning from the sidelines.
I hit him so hard from the reach.
I think Pantoja's one of the greatest flyweights of all time, Morales said. I honestly would love for him to win because I feel I match up great with him. I feel like his striking is really good, but I just have the IQ and his jiu-jitsu is great, but so is mine. I feel I'd be able to match that. Bonfim and Christian Leroy Duncan snatched 50k performance bonuses on the main card, while Josh Hokit and Zachary Reese earned theirs on the prelims. There was no fight of the night, just fast finishes and quick paydays. In other news, Islam Makhachev enters this weekend's UFC 322 with a rare chance to do something truly special. And Michael Bisping thinks a win could permanently elevate him into an all-time great territory. After vacating the lightweight crown earlier this year following the division's record-setting defense streak, Makhachev now moves up to welterweight to face Jack Della Maddalena. The challenge? A victory not only makes Makhachev the 11th fighter in UFC history to win titles in 2 weight classes, it also ties Anderson Silva's hallowed 16-fight UFC win streak record. For Bisping, that would officially place Islam among the upper echelons of MMA besides names like Silva, John Jones and Demetrius Johnson, even if they all boast much deeper title defense resumes. I'm certainly not critiquing Islam Makhachev's career. I'm not nitpicking or discrediting it at all, reasoned Bisping. If he gets the job done, I think without question he deserves to be in that conversation. And in lighter news, Khabib Nurmagomedov recently reflected on his demolition of Conor McGregor, and he sounded like a man describing his favourite holiday. One thing is really, really beautiful in this world. When you don't like somebody, you go inside the cage, you smash him, and they give you money, Nurmagomedov said while reminiscing about McGregor. Outside of the cage, if you do this, you go to jail. Before their infamous title clash at UFC 229, McGregor's trash talk had crossed multiple lines, and Khabib took it personally. What followed was one of the most chaotic and unforgettable demolition jobs in fight history. Hearing Khabib talk about it now though, you'd never guess how much anger fueled that moment. He remembers it fondly, almost lovingly, as one of the best times of his life. I was waiting for this moment to fight McGregor for so long. I could not only fight, but also talk to him. I used that moment to enjoy the way, like you go to the Maldives. It was my vacation.
Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.